Formula 1 leaves Singapore and heads over to Japan. For the first time in 3 years, we are back at Suzuka. This weekend could see Max Verstappen become a world champion for the second time. It's also the beginning of the end for Formula 1 in 2022. 2 weeks' time, we're at the United States Grand Prix at Austin, Texas, followed a week later by Mexico, and then a 2-week break before Brazil and Abu Dhabi round out the 2022 season. In the Drivers' Championship, it's quite simple. Max Verstappen, if he wins this weekend and Charles Leclerc finishes second without the fastest lap, Max is world champion. It seems an open door then for Verstappen. It seemed that way in Singapore. With rain predicted over the weekend, anything could be less simple. It's a 2-point gap between Leclerc and Perez as well. Russell is a point clear of Carlos Sainz too. The top 5 now all over 200 points. Lewis Hamilton is on 170. He's clear to Lando Norris. However, Norris in a battle still with Esteban Ocon. Ocon, after a great performance last time out, is catching up. Alonso, Bottas and Ricciardo complete the first page. On the second page, Vettel is a point clear of Gasly, is a point clear of Magnussen. In a separate battle with Stroll, Schumacher and Tsunoda. Zhou and Albon battling out as well. De Vries not likely to race the remainder of the year. Latifi still pointless this season. And Hülkenberg only did the start of the 2 races this season. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull hold an impressive lead, 576 points to Ferrari's 439. They are in danger of being caught by Mercedes as well on 373. McLaren with a double points finish last time out, and Alpine scoring nil point. It is now advantage McLaren in the Constructors' Championship. Alfa Romeo are now clear 2 of Aston Martin, who've moved ahead in the standings from 9th to 7th with a double point scoring finish in Singapore. They're now clear of Haas, who are just the same points as AlphaTauri. Williams in 10th still have 6 points. It's the second practice session, 90 minutes ahead of us for the Japanese Grand Prix here at Suzuka. Let's take a look at the Suzuka circuit in Japan, a 5.806km circuit, 18 turns and 53 laps ahead of us on Sunday. The only figure of 8 circuit on the world, it's challenging and demanding. Hurtle out the last corner then and keep on the accelerator. 8th gear flat as you open up the DRS, the only DRS zone on the entire track. Start the lap down towards turn number 1. 5th gear corner as well. Flat out braking zone as well into turn 2, the first and second curve. Now begin the SE section as well. A quick stream uphill as well. The car wants to down south from the rear as well. Always control it as well. Jenson Button once said you can only get this part of the track right once a weekend. Up the hill we go then towards the Dunlop curve at turn 7, rising uphill as well. Then into Degner 1 at turn 8 and Degner 2. All the way down, 6th gear corner, brake hard once again to 4th for the second Degner. Underneath the bridge then and rise up towards the hairpin. Into 3rd gear as you brake hard. Control the exit speed as well as you hit the accelerator. Lift up as well as you come through the 200R at turn 12. Maximum 7th gear corner before you reach 8th gear before the top of turn 13 and 14 and spoon curve. Down all the way, 4th gear, throw the car in. It wants to spin you wide, that's fine, it's within the rules. Hurtle down, out now, 5th gear the exit, rising up the back straightaway towards 8th gear as well. Through the 2nd sector time and then flick the car through turn 15. The 130R, easily flat in a modern Formula 1 car. Into turns 16, 17 and 18, the Casio triangle, down now from 8th gear all the way to 3rd gear. Back on the power now at the exit, rise up out of the last corner of turn 18, go downhill with the DRS open, and that is a lap of the Suzuka circuit. Hi everyone, welcome to practice. Ted's got news on Mick Schumacher.
Has done in this season, and again, something that will not help his causes long term staying with this team. But yeah, unhappy for Mick at the beginning of his Japanese Grand Prix weekend.
Okay, thanks Ted. We came in late on that, but I can say that at the moment Mick Schumacher will not be taking part in the second practice session here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Good morning, everybody. Well done if you're waking up or staying up with us throughout the night for the Japanese Grand Prix. It is time for second practice as well. And alongside me in the commentary box at the moment is Synthel. Josh will probably rock up in a few minutes' time, but Synthel's with me anyway. Morning, Synth. Another wet session ahead of us, and 90 minutes to talk about, not just an hour now. The Pirelli tyre test, time added on. That test has been cancelled, but the start time remains the same. 90 minutes ahead for the drivers to get used to this circuit. Extra half hour. We're not going to see that much running, are we? The track is worse than what it was this morning, with even a slight drizzle now.
Yeah, well, we saw a lot of action in FP1 as well, surprisingly. So maybe we'll see some more here as well. But yeah, I doubt that we'll see a lot of action, but we can maybe hope. And yeah, 90 minutes back like it was in previous years. And it seems to be for next year, every practice 2 session, wasn't it? But yeah, anyways, It's going to be a long session to fill.
Whether or not that's true, I don't know, because as things stand, it's still going to be an hour as well for all the sessions, but I don't know if this is practice 2 now at 90 minutes or so. I did hear that as well, and we'll keep an eye out as well if that does change. But as things stand as well, this was I can't even show you the results from free practice 1 because it's changed over already for free practice 2. But Fernando Alonso topped the timesheets this morning in the first practice session as well. Heavier rain came in the last 15 minutes, so unfortunately that did change everything up. Mick Schumacher is 100% not taking part in free practice 2, despite it being 90 minutes. The chassis needs changing, so the gearbox, the engine, everything needs pulling out as well. We will be back up in a second with the world feed. With Jensen Button back this weekend. I think he's going to make his way up to commentary, so we'll hear from him talking throughout the session as well. I think it's going to be Paul di Resta and Karun Chandhok in the commentary box for second practice, I'm being told in my ear. So many people will probably be tuning in on us as well. But the driver tracker is all ready as well, and it's looking very, very wet out there as well, I can tell you as well. Just trying to take a look quickly at temperatures for you. To give you a stat up here in the comments box, air temperature is at 15 degrees, track temperature 19 degrees as well. It is still wet, wet, wet. And do you reckon we'll see much running, or are we going to see a few crashes here as people start to push just in case we get the chance of a wet race on Sunday?
Yeah, well, in FP1 we saw a lot of action, of course. They actually kept it very well on the circuit, but maybe towards the end a little bit more they became a bit more confident and tried to push it a little more, when we saw a little bit more mistakes. But overall they did a good job to not crash, except for Mick Schumacher all the way at the end, even after the test start. But yeah, I hope we're going to see a lot of action. I'm not sure how much wetter it is, but it's definitely going to be not too many action. That's pretty sure.
Should be quite good. We'll hand over in a second then to Simon Lazenby to introduce the session and give you the times as well for when we're going to be on air. Pretty similar with Sky F1 this weekend as well. So myself and Synth will get ready for 90 minutes of practice action here for free practice 2 of the Japanese Grand Prix. The 2020 data has had to be got out as well. The last time we had 90-minute sessions. But anyway, let's hand back over to Simon quickly.
Quick whiz through the timings. Important to have an alarm next to your bed this weekend. We'll be back with the F1 show wrapping up this day from 8:45. Saturday, early start from 3:45 with your fancy practice 3, qualifying from 6, much more sociable. And on Sunday, 4:30 on air, lights out. 6 a.m. Any Driven Monday has Mario Andretti, Danica Patrick and Romain Grosjean. 6 o'clock on YouTube. Wakey, wakey, I know a man who can wake him up. All yours, David Croft.
It's a wet and windy practice 2 as Formula 1 returns to Suzuka in Japan for the Honda Japanese Grand Prix. It's round 18 of the 2022 campaign, and already this is again another chance for Max Verstappen to claim a second World Championship. It's going to have to do it though in mixed conditions as well. Here at the Suzuka International Racecourse, 3.60 miles as well, 5.807 kilometres. Lap record here about 1 minute 30.983 set by Lewis Hamilton in 2019. 40.4 metre elevation change around the 18 corners as well. Pirelli brought the hardest tyres here, the hard white C1, the yellow medium C2 and the red soft C3, but all eyes are on the green intermediate and blue wet weather tyres as well. And practice 2 looks a little bit different to usual as well, as we now have 90 minutes of action, just like old school back in 2020 as well. 90 minutes of practice time. It was due to be as well extra time allowed for the Pirelli tyre test. Now that's not going to happen. We've got the situation out here where we have to just sort of say, okay, we're going to have to stand by for all of the action. I'm not on my own up here because joining me via the voice chat at the moment is Synthel. Good morning, Synthel. It's, what is it, 8 a.m. coming up for you over there as well, in Central Europe as well. Are you just about fighting off the fatigue of sleep? Because at the moment, this 90-minute session might just send us to sleep.
Yeah, it could be. I'm getting a little bit more awake, so that's all good. It's definitely still raining, and yeah, it might be a boring session, but we might see a lot of action. We don't know. We're going to see in these coming 90 minutes.
Fingers crossed as well. Let's say good afternoon to Crofty, Paul de Resta and Johnny Herbert.
The race starts, so yeah, that's going to be very frustrating rebuilding the car at the present time. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because for the race, all the information they normally get on a Friday is not going to be happening this time around. So they're going to be a little bit more blind going into qualifying in the race.
So this is what happened to Mick Schumacher going around the Dunlop curve, and the rain had come down a little heavier. He aquaplaned, back end spun around, and into the barriers he went.
And you can hear the conversation he's having with the team. He's out of the session. Ted's got more.
So Mick Schumacher paying the price for that crash, and his mechanics, sadly with a lot of work to do, to completely change the chassis. Which means there was more damage than we first thought. Yeah, silly incident.
Well, silly incident, and you know it's fairly high speed there, even in the wet through the exit of Dunlop. So yeah, once again, mechanics, a lot of work, something they weren't wanting, weren't expecting.
Biggest thing from him though, dead confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing other. He's okay. He's fine to continue on the weekend, but a track that's all about commitment and building that confidence, certainly through the weekend. That is a dent, especially when you're going into tomorrow morning. You're not getting another chance to optimise and getting your eye in for the track.
And this all came after a pretty good session for Haas, 5th and 7th for Magnussen and for Mick Schumacher. Ted, let's head down to you. Good
Morning,
afternoon.
Ted.
Thank you very much, David, Paul, yes, everybody. Yes, welcome, good afternoon, Japanese time. Welcome to the still drenched pit lane. I've got some more details on Mick Schumacher's accident. So it was the front wing, obviously, it was the nose, it was the floor that was broken as well, damaged. It was both front suspensions. And the reason they have to change the chassis is because where one of the front wheels came back and hit that kind of nose section, the upper nose section towards where the chassis actually meets the side pods, that's where it cracked the chassis. That's where it was the tyre coming back and damaging the chassis. That's what necessitated a chassis change. Now, it's expensive, yes, it's embarrassing, yes, for all the reasons Johnny was saying. It was potentially unnecessary, because did he really need to be pushing on his way back from doing practice start? Did he need to be doing a practice start out there really anyway, if the conditions were a bit changeable and not very good? Well, everybody else did, and so it was important, given some of the starts that Haas have had recently, for them to do the practice start. But do they lose anything? Well, it looks like, Crofty, actually, and everybody, they might not lose too much track time running, because I don't see many drivers actually ready in their cars, ready to go out. Yes, they have an hour and a half. There is Fernando Alonso on the left-hand side, the ace of free practice 1, the rainmaster really so far. In today's running, quickest this morning, if you weren't with us in the small hours of the morning, it was this car, the Alpine, which seems to be going very well round here. The margins weren't huge, but anyway, it was Alonso who was quickest, and certainly you can see from that shot there just leaning against the jack that actually puts the starter motor into the rear of the car. Fernando's not going anywhere, and I can't see many drivers up and down the pit lane. I think you're also watching Max Verstappen potentially, David, and he's not going anywhere either. I think they've learnt enough, but well, we might have to get on to some different topics, plenty of which are going up and down the pit lane, and there is a stall out the back in the paddock doing a traditional Japanese tea ceremony. So I've got a date with Craig Slater later to sample some of the local culture, which the organisers have very nicely put on a tea ceremony with a team master, a master of the tea ceremonies, who's actually in the paddock. But maybe more of that if we don't get much running.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. And FP2 has been extended to 90 minutes to allow 2023 Pirelli prototype tyre testing. The test has been cancelled due to adverse weather, but the 90-minute duration will remain, which means that we've got to wait here for 1 hour and 28 minutes remaining of the second practice session as well, with all the graphics now getting updated for the full 1 hour 27 minutes now we got left. No one's going to head out there as well, certainly not for the first half hour. And yeah, it's too wet out there. You risk too much going out if there's an accident or you spin off. So it's all over, and there's Fernando Alonso with masks back on because we're in Japan, and it's all different stuff as well.
Yeah, I remember when in the past when all sessions on Friday would be 90 minutes, and sometimes it would even be waiting when it's dry, and now it's wet. It's going to be even more waiting.
Yeah, so this is going to be absolutely fantastic then, as I think I might take a seat up in the comms box as well. So we'll put you back on the battle camera for just a second as well, while we get everything sorted up here, because there's no point me sitting down and standing up in the comm box when there's nothing to go on at the moment as well. There's Charles Leclerc watching on. Hopefully he's going to have a much better weekend than what he did last time out as well at Singapore. Started on the front row of the grid and still couldn't manage to take the victory as well. Sergio Perez took him at the start and just had an absolutely domination effect across the two weekends as well. Do you think Charles Leclerc will ever be a world champion? I know it's quite early to start talking about it, but do you think he ever could take the championship?
Yeah, I think so, but you know, they need to have a good car, of course, with Ferrari, and a reliable car, and just be able to not mess up those strategies again, and hope that maybe Red Bull or something, or everyone else next year has a bit of a better car, so they can have a bit of a better shot at the championship next year. But it's going to be very difficult now because this so far has definitely been his biggest chance, and also for Ferrari since a few years of the championship.
Yeah, the cars are now on the grid. Fans making their way in around the circuit then as well, up here in the comms box as well. It's nice and toasty, but I hear a car trundling down pit road, and I think it's Nicholas Latifi who's going to make us all very, very happy and head out onto the circuit as well to do some running. So he's gone to the top of my timing boards. I'm not seeing anything yet leaving the pit lane, but we will certainly keep an eye and keep our fingers crossed for an entertaining session we're about to see. So, yes, it is. Look at that. It is Nicholas Latifi out on the circuit. Fantastic news as he ventures out there onto the track. And just a little bit treacherous as well. He's out there on full wet tyres. A few little rivers running across the circuit as well. But I think, we can go out in this. It doesn't look that bad through the first sector. There's a few rivers, but if you're careful, it should be okay. Then again, look what happened to Mick Schumacher when he tried it as well. He went off the track in horrendous conditions. There goes Latifi's thing as well. But our driving track is way behind on that, so let's get that sorted as well. But good to see Latifi out on the circuit, Zinth.
Definitely. It might be weather at some different parts, maybe. Compared to that, I think it was in FP1 mostly the first sector, right, with the 3S section, which was where it was a lot of puddles and standing water. But now I think it's a bit, it still looks okay, and well, the TV is circling around now, so let's see. It looks okay for the wet tires, of course.
It does. Let's hear from Latifi's radio.
Yeah, so far it's okay. There's a little stream before turn 8, which maybe might be on the limit for Inter, but everywhere else so far it's easy Inter.
Copy that. Go out.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. I don't know why Hazel Southwell has just said, why is Sky Sports showing some repeat of a feature with Christian Horner at FP2? It's literally what I paid for. Hazel, we are watching practice 2. I don't know what to tell you at the moment as well. Let's get our driver tracker in the right location and flip it round as well so that everybody likes to know. There you hear from Latifi as well, just saying that the track seems to be okay at the moment. Okay, is it going to make me go all the way around? What's going on with this? As he starts a lap time then, talk us through it then, Synth. It looks okay to me down towards turn 1.
Yeah, we're into the first sector now, turn 1. This is I think it's a fine corner, but through the S section, let's see how many puddles there are. I think that's maybe the part what the TV means with. Yeah, there especially, look at that puddle there, on the exit of turn 1. And he's finding the car through the S section here a little bit. Really struggling a little, because yeah, it is wet. This is gonna be maybe the most difficult one. You wanna maybe try and stay off the white line as much as you can. There, another big puddle. That's, I think, what the TV means with it's not just enough for inters at certain parts of the track. To Degner now, where we saw Leclerc having some issues, I think 3 times in FP1. The TV takes it cautiously and doing very well. Through here we've seen some moments, Latifi with a bit of oversteer. This is where Latifi actually went off in turn 11 in FP1. The yellow flag were brought out for him and he double locked up and went straight on. But it's all looking fine for now. This usually was always flat out, of course, in the dry, but now in the wet it's going to be a little bit more difficult as he heads to Spoon, where we've seen some moments as well already.
He's just going to snatch it, isn't he? This is the problem as well. This is the track, part of the track that drifts you out wide, isn't it? And he's already fighting with control, but it seems to be okay, which is good news. And look at that, I'm loving this. Purple sector times as Carlos Sainz has come out onto the circuit as well, according to the driver tracker.
And we're to the most famous corner of this track, of course, 130R. It's going to be pretty difficult, I think, in the wets. He's definitely lifting off a lot and taking it very cautiously.
Yeah, didn't want to have any opportunity, did he, to throw it into the wall, so lifts off into the Casio triangle. He's so gentle, isn't he, on the accelerator?
Different set of rear brakes, all clear, and changes discussed. Fine, right.
And across the line for Latifi, the 156.471, not bad. Hazel Southwell has replied, turns out if you tune in early on Now TV, it will simply play whatever the hell it likes instead of what you wanted to watch. Oh my word. I can happily share the Discord if you need to, Hazel. As well, I thought Ted on News as the F1 constructor battle between AlphaTauri and Aston Martin has changed over. Aston took over last time out, Cynthia Clausen jumped ahead after a very good double points finish for Aston Martin in Singapore. They've jumped up now to 37 points as well. Aston Martin need to finish high as they can because they've got Alonso coming to them next year.
Yeah, definitely. Very well race, of course, from Aston Martin. They were lucky as well. It was an absolute chaotic race. And for AlphaTauri, of course, Tsunoda crashed out there in the race, so there was no points for them. And I think Gasly finished 10th, which is only 1 point. And yeah, we see Stroll finish 6th and Vettel 8th. They had a really good race in Singapore. And now it's wet again, possibly for the race. So maybe it's another opportunity for Aston Martin to take some points. And maybe even more again than AlphaTauri, but it could be the other way around, of course, as well.
So all coming back through as you say, Albon and Ricciardo enter the track as well. Track temperature at 19 degrees, and we've opened that battle little graphic up as well to try and have the standing orders here. Sainz you're hearing on board now, having the full on board. This is the top then of Dunlop Curve. This is where Schumacher crashed this morning at the exit. Looks okay to me. And he's 1.4 seconds up as he flies it through Degner 1 and Degner 2. It's weird looking at the clock and seeing 1 hour 19. It's like we're in a test session rather than a practice session as he comes in. Full wet tyres. I don't think anyone's going on intermediates at the moment. Everyone I'm seeing on the timing monitors are out there on full wet tyres, so no one's going to risk it as well to put on a different set of tyres as Sainz flies through his Spoon.
Yeah, so far everyone on the wet, only 4 drivers on track at the moment. This is where Sainz actually had a moment as well in FP1 towards the end. But it's all going very well for now. Carlos Sainz with purple sector 1, and surely we'll get purple sector 2 as well. There you go, 1.8 seconds faster than Nick Latifi so far.
Mega lap time there for Carlos Sainz. He comes into Casio Triangle, and he's up a lot compared to everybody else as they fly through. Sainz coming out the last corner, fighting for grip. Don't do a Timo Glock. He's got someone ahead of him as well of Albon kicking up that spray. Sainz goes top, 149.615 then. And great lap time there as well. It's so weird, isn't it, since seeing all the masks back on because Japan has different COVID rules. We've got used to seeing people without masks and now they've had to put them back on again.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a while ago, but well, whatever has to happen, I'm very happy we're at least back in Japan. But then that mask rule, that's well, not too big of an issue, of course. But yeah, it's for now still needed.
Sadly so, as COVID hasn't gone away, it's still a factor, and hopefully with all the vaccines they've developed as well, we can live with it, but it hasn't gone away, still affecting people. Oh, on to the commentary box with Pirelli.
But it is what it is, we cannot control the weather, and so we are planning now for Austin and Mexico as a backup, the tire test.
Tell us exactly what we were going to be doing for that tyre test today, because we talk about a Pirelli dry tyre test, but it's basically where you get 90 minutes exclusive use of the track and the teams do what you want them to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. We discussed that
Latifi.
with the
Yeah,
teams.
Latifi spun it and continued on.
2 seconds, Alex Albon. It's just...
Oh, it's not Albon, it's Latifi, because this is Albon coming through the back half of the track. As you said, it's a great spot there, Synth. It was indeed Latifi. We're back to go. Back on.
We talked to the teams because it was impossible to fit any tire test in the second half of the season. Clearly, the calendar is very busy, and nobody wanted to stay in Suzuka for Tuesday and Wednesday after the race. So, discussing with them, a proposal that came actually from the teams was why don't we use FP2 in a couple of races just for tire testing? We were trying to find a new solution for tire testing, and this is one of the new solutions. Another one is, for example, to find space during the winter break to have additional testing. The point is that if we don't test, we cannot come with a better tire for next year. That is clear. So one proposal was to extend the session to avoid too much traffic, all the 20 cars testing our tires, run plans defined by Pirelli. Clearly we have a baseline that is tested against a prototype, different plans for each driver.
2 seconds.
The car, that was strange.
Well, Latifi took the wrong pit exit. Latifi took the old pit entrance, not the right chicane. How did he do that? He took the old pit lane.
No idea. He just took the wrong. Maybe he thought the chicane was there. He was going very slowly.
Yeah.
Did he think the pit entry was there? Or did he think the chicane was there?
I think he thought the chicane was there, to be fair, but I've never seen anybody do that. I did wonder where he was on the track. I couldn't work it out, but he was at the old pit entrance that was closed off in '97. Blimey.
What are you trying to...
And that's the loop on, isn't it? Back to the other part of the track. Let's hear quickly.
2 seconds.
Feedback on tire condition when you can.
Yeah, clearly extreme now. I mean, we could go Inter, but too much risk for FP.
Okay, so Sainz saying that it's clearly torrential rain and clearly it's high temperature as well. But yeah, Latifi taking the old pit exit as well, and it's also the loop back onto the short circuit here. For anyone of you who play the F1 game, know what that is. And Sainz has gone off at Degnerson.
Yeah, a bit wide there. Here we can see this is where Leclerc is. He's not touched the curb, he just understood wide already.
Exactly the same this
and
morning.
gone into the gravel a little bit.
Yeah, exactly the same as this morning. Right, back up to Mario from Pirelli.
So we are trying to make a stronger front tire in order to better balance the front and the rear. The rear is very good, a lot of traction. We don't want to penalize the rear. We want to make a better front. In terms of compounds, the C1 has not enough grip. Sometimes when we use C1, C2, C3, C1, C2, the gap is too much, so we want to reduce that, giving a bit more grip to the C1. And the C3 is too close to the C4 compared to the C2, so put the C3 in the middle of the two. That's the fine-tuning of the construction for next year. Nothing major. The current product is working well. We had fantastic races with a lot of action on track and overtaking. Cars are able to follow each other without losing the grip, so we don't want to change current situation.
How tricky is it for Pirelli, though, to develop a tyre that matches the rate of progress, development progress, that the teams are making? Because, well, I assume they get to the development before you can get to where the tyre needs to be.
Yeah, we need to freeze the tyres at the beginning of the year. We cannot change anything during the year. That's why we ask for simulations with a prediction of the end of the year performance. Usually that was not easy last year because with the new cars everything was new, so teams were trying to make a prediction but was not very clear how far they were from reality. I have to say that these cars are faster than expected.
Yeah.
Consider that they are running at a pace that is similar to last year, but they are heavier and the weight has a big impact in the performance. So we are happy with the current product, with the current situation, but we know that we have to let's say increase the level of integrity in order not to raise too much the pressure, because the trade-off is always between minimum pressure and level of integrity.
Because there are accusations from time to time that the starting pressures, the minimum starting pressures, are too hard. The teams would like it a lot softer.
Yeah, because if you go down with pressure, you have more performance. But the point is that the starting pressure are the same for everybody, so there is no advantage for any of them. There is a lot of talking about the fact that top teams are maybe have an advantage because they are able to develop more downforce compared to the midfield, but we cannot make a customized prescription for each team. It has to be the same across all the paddock.
And are you still looking to try and get two-stop races? Is that the direction that the emphasis you're trying to push?
Yeah, I would say that in the target letter that we discussed last year for this year tires, the numbers in terms of delta lap time and degradation were analyzed by FIA and FOM to have a mix of one-stop, two-stop strategies. And this year we had a mix many times of that, or also the three compounds used in different strategies. So this is the target. I believe the most important element this year is that they can follow each other and they can try to overtake for several laps and not after one lap losing the performance and then they have to back up because otherwise they don't have the grip in the tire. So that's clearly the design of the new tire is because of that. Rears are nowhere. I read it.
Well, listen, I'm so glad you're here. And apologies, Johnny and Ted. Teddy wants to come in as well. But you're the expert, Mario, because you're the head of Pirelli Motorsport. When George Russell says the rears are nowhere, I'm sure you don't want to be hearing that sort of message, but what is he talking about? What does he mean? And why is there a problem?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a message for the team. It's important that the driver is giving message, especially in this condition, to the teams. They always have to find a balance between the front axle, the rear axle, to generate temperature in the right way. Tomorrow should be dry, Sunday probably wet again. They cannot change the setup after qualifying, so they are in a park fermé situation and they have to find the best compromise. It's not easy in this condition because probably they have qualifying in rain condition and the race in wet condition. As I said, these cars have a tendency to understeer, so sometimes you try to generate more grip in the front and maybe you lose traction from the rear. It's something. It's a decision of the team, and when the rears are nowhere, it's probably because they are not able to generate heat from the rear tires. Mercedes this year had sometimes this problem.
Yes, Johnny.
And Mario.
That's absolutely fantastic to hear then as well from Mario up in the commentary box as well, and gave me and Cynthia a chance to sort of sit back, listen and catch our breaths from that. Norris Radio.
And how's the track?
Wet. Yeah.
Simple from Lando,
yeah,
isn't it?
It is very wet.
It is,
Yeah.
it is extremely. Go on, Sam.
But what he said, the Pirelli, that it's pretty, the weather forecast, of course, tomorrow is going to be dry, and Sunday could be wet, could be dry, not too sure. But that also means who's going to, because of course after qualifying you have the park firmer, you're not allowed to change anything on the setup. Who's going to decide to qualify in a dry with a wet setup, and who's going to decide to qualify with a dry setup?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one as well to see that.
Do you know, I've just got this feeling that the Astons and the Alphas and the and the Haas cars, you know, that they take that gamble and run on a wet setup in qualifying, sacrifice it, but then have a better race car on Sunday with the wet setup, because it looks like it's going to rain. Mario Isola is just going to say it's raining as well, probably, and God knows what that means. That's going to mean for Sunday in terms of hanging around for either the start of the race, red flag periods, whatever. Sunday is going to be absolutely chaotic again, but I'm really hoping that we've got a good situation where we have a good race.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Sunday shouldn't be as wet as it's now, right? So I'm pretty sure they shouldn't have to red flag.
Inters should be, yeah. So unless there's a crash, of course, then it's red flag. But it's inter weather for Sunday as well. Not this level of rain we've had here on Friday for the 2 practice sessions as well. But we kind of just need Max Verstappen to win the title here this weekend, no matter what. So he does not go well in wet weather races. So fingers crossed he has a good one as well.
That's also nice for a change. That it's not. Usually it looks like it's just either dry or too wet.
I love how I say Max Verstappen doesn't go well in wet weather races. He had one of his best ever results in Brazil 2016 in wet weather. What I say by that is that in these new cars, he struggles a lot in the wet weather. But Verstappen is still a dynamite in the car, no matter what the conditions. So fingers crossed he can have a good qualifying tomorrow and start on pole position and just take the race win. Spray's getting worse out there then in the middle half of the track with Zhou Guanyu as well. So I thought there might be less rain, but it seems like it's just getting fine rain and a lot heavier in terms of that fine rain, creating the standing water out on the circuit as well. We are about 23 minutes into this session. We've got 1 hour and 7 minutes to go. And for Alfa Romeo, this weekend marks 10 years since Kamui Kobayashi finished 3rd for Sauber in the 2012 Japanese Grand Prix. I remember that Grand Prix. As well, we had to drive back home because at that point our house was getting redone because of asbestos as well, so all our sceneries were getting redone, and it was a Sky only race at that time when Sky and BBC used to share the coverage. It was a Sky only race, so I remember getting up at 5 a.m. driving 20 minutes back to our house where we had a TV, just a single small TV set up and a microphone that me and Dad shared, and we commentated on the race at 6 o'clock in the morning on one little tiny monitor as well. No timing screens, nothing, just a monitor. It was unbelievably difficult.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what I had when I was in Spain, that we just had to follow the race just by radio.
Could have
just
said,
only sound.
Could have said, you could have hopped in the Discord and watched our coverage.
Yeah, but then I didn't know you by then. It was 2019.
Oh, 2019. Oh, I see. I thought you meant the
best race of the season as well.
I thought you meant in Indonesia. I thought you meant when you were in Indonesia earlier in the year.
No, then I could follow it because we went to a sports bar where they,
yes,
they
I
showed
remember
it.
that, yeah. I think
But it turned out actually that when we were in Spain, there was just at the camping we were, just right there below. They actually covered it.
Oh wow!
But we didn't know.
That's fantastic. That's so lucky. I love it when that happens, things like that.
Well, no, but because we didn't know and we just listened to the race, well, we could have just gone there.
Oh, I
but
see.
We found out afterwards.
Right, okay. I just wonder what you're on about then. I think Ted's got news and he's asking Mario something, so we'll pop back up to the boxes, Sky.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. When we test with different drivers, we have different feedback because they like one solution or the other. They like to have a pointing car with a very precise front and they can manage the oversteer. Some other drivers don't like the oversteer at all. So that's why we always compare the comment of the driver, that is absolutely very, very important, with the telemetry data to understand if in the comment there is a bit of
exaggerating the truth.
Yeah, not exaggerating, but to give more evidence to what a driver like.
Embellishing the claim.
Yes.
Maybe. How do you change the integrity, the construction of the tyre when you're looking at developing for next year and you say you want more integrity into the tyre? Physically, what do you do?
We develop always, every year, I would say, new materials. Formula One is a very good laboratory for technology. We can develop and test product very quickly. So we are testing new materials. We are testing new geometry of the construction, new profiles, and sometimes also new production processes to give a better integrity to the tires. Then integrity is something that we evaluate with indoor test. It's never an element that we test on track. Now we have...
Oh, Hamilton's saying it's almost
almost
Inters.
Inters.
Wow.
Almost Inters. Even with those rivers of rain, and we'll come on to that in a moment. Just finish
Yeah,
off.
but the Inters are good. When you have only a river, they can go over without any big problem. We know that here it was sliding quite a lot, I would say.
How much water does an Inter clear versus the extreme white?
The Inter is 35 liters per second of water at 300 kph, and the wet is 85. So
85
the difference is
litres.
huge.
Wow.
Okay, and what you're talking about the tyres for next year, the construction that some people will be sitting there, does that transfer into the wet and intermediate tyre as well?
On the wet and intermediate, we are doing a different job because the main complaint was about the warm-up phase, and especially when maybe not here, because here it's a high severity circuit with an aggressive tarmac, so you can generate energy, but in smooth in circuit with smooth tarmac and an easy layout is a lot more difficult. So we are designing a new compound to have a better warm-up.
Oh, that is fantastic news, isn't it? Sid? That they're developing a new Inter and a new wet weather tyre that can switch on a lot quicker and hopefully stop what we saw in Singapore where no one get the tyres up to temperature and we had such a gap after the first 5 laps. That's a lot more positive news for Formula One.
Yeah, definitely. That could be very interesting. And I think Russell now is out on intermediates.
Can't tell on my screen. I'm going to trust you on that because I haven't got that data up in the comms box. I really should actually, but at the moment I thought Gaz has had a little spin. I think coming through turn 11, he was quite slow coming through there. But at the moment, all I've got on the monitor up here in the comms box is the best lap time. So if he's out in Inters, he's out in Inters. I'll take a look shortly. But Hamilton's fastest in the first sector, 38.955. Second sector, 49.4. He's coming out the last corner now as well. Is it the fastest time in the session? Yes, it is. With a 1:49.489. So Hamilton jumps up to the top spot then here with 1 hour, 1 minute and 45 to go of the session. And Lewis 44 still we rise. That's so nice to see. And you're right, I've got the information up in the box now, since you are correct. Russell has gone out on intermediate tyres. So if Russell bins it, we know it's not dry enough, or wet enough, sorry, for Inters.
Yeah, especially on the exit of turn 1, it just looks like there's such a big puddle there. And
yeah.
Well, Russell got past that now at least. This is what happened to lose. It's a replay, I think, of the... Look at that spray, and somehow it's enough for intermediate.
85,
Incredible.
yeah, what was that Mario said? 85 litres of water getting separated there. The intermediates only do 30 litres of water per second as well. That's insane. And 85 litres of water per second as well. Just for coincidence, I'm holding a 2 litre bottle of water up in the commentary box. That's 2 litres, and it is quite a large amount of water. And that it clears 85 litres as well. I can't even imagine. That's like 40 office coolers at 1 second. It's insane. As I thought we had some radio there. Sonoda comes back round again. Russell is following behind Hamilton. Russell's first sector time is good with a 37.8 as well. So we're going to highlight Russell on the driver tracker. Ted's got news.
Delta.
Oh no, that's not Ted. I thought Ted was going to say something there, but look at that. Nearly time to say goodbye to the hour. We'll see it again at the Grand Prix of the Americas. Free practice 2 there will be 90 minutes, so that's going to help me and Megan a lot. But 3, 2, 1, and 59 minutes to go now of the session. Up here in the comments box, why it says 9, I don't know, but let's go over as well and see why that's needs to be fixed up. Oh, I know why. Go on, Synth.
It's clear that the Inters are, are the ideal tyres now. 2.5 seconds quicker for Russell.
2.5 for Russell. Quicker. That's just it. That's just beyond insane now.
Yeah, and there's Lewis Hamilton switching over to the Inter tyres as well.
They've had more time in this session and more time than we could ever really believe as well. I think they're going to switch over shortly, Sky, to another broadcaster. Yeah, they are. So I'll just hit one switch with another and bring it back open as I just try and get this graphic working up here in the comms box. Now we've got it back. So, intermediates then, the tyres to be on. Do you think they'll last, or are we going to have more wet weather coming? I don't know. Weather forecast is saying that we should be good for the end of the session.
I suppose it's fine.
Looks, yeah. Looks
otherwise, they wouldn't go for it now. I think Inters will be fine until the end of the session.
Does look it. 58:40 to go in the session as we get all our graphics back up to date now, because they're all perfectly timed for a 60-minute session. Russell's backed off on his lap time after going fastest overall, so we'll swap that back. Russell's first sector, however, was a 37.2, so maybe we should be looking at Russell, actually. Russell's coming across the line now. He's had a slow turn 7 and 8, 9, and a little bit off the pace, but still fastest. 1:45.738 goes Russell. So again, improves on his time over on the board. Latifi next across the line. And just starts a lap time actually as well. Hamilton's coming to finish a lap time. Maybe we should take a look at him. He's not had a great lap time look on the mini sectors as well. He's dropped a lot of time through there as well. And Gasly's on driver's eye, just fighting for control. Tyres are just about working, I think Russell said there as well, which is good. Hamilton crosses the line, stays second. Good third sector though, 20.954. So we've got 58 minutes to go. 57.20 actually of the session. And Hamilton set the fastest first part of the track, but Russell again, fastest first sector. The two Mercedes, we're highlighting them on the circuit. 1-2 at the moment. Looks like Max Verstappen is getting ready to head out onto the circuit as well. And this is a moment for George Russell. I don't know if you can see these pictures, Synth, but he nearly lost it coming through the S's section. Had a massive snap at the same part of the track where I said this morning about how difficult it is.
Yeah, at the moment I can't see it, but we'll see a replay soon. I suppose, yeah, many cars on the track on Inters now as well. I think you'll see you've got Russell, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Albon and Latifi, Vettel and Stroll as well. All on the intermediate tire. It's still quite busy and pretty an active practice session, luckily. We might fear that it was going to be a boring one, but it's kicking off now.
Yeah, it's getting quite good actually with an hour to go. They're all putting out there. Now they know it's intermediates as well. They've headed out there, but they don't want to waste all their inters. Someone who's got a Pirelli hat with an intermediate tyre on, he's come fully prepared as well. But they're all heading out there, as you say, because why not? It's going to be a wet race. Get as much data as you can to get a wet setup set so you're ready, because a change of climatic conditions will be declared between the two sessions. So you may as well just go for it and see what you get.
Yeah, they said as well that they didn't want to waste too many tires.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've got enough. And yeah, it is going to be inter-weather as it seems like, right, for Sunday. As we can see, I'm probably going to see some replays now.
Hopefully so, as that is Hamilton, who's just gone fastest on a 1:44.298. So Hamilton's jumped up the board then to go fastest. Here's the replays, but first, what's this? Before we go down to turn 5 with Jenson Button, in fact, we're going to go down there now.
Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah, this is Yuki Tsunoda, and they've got the wrong intermediates, Synth, on the wrong side of the car. That's bizarre.
Wow.
Anyway, down to JB, Jenson Button.
We're talking about super fans or uber fans. I am definitely a super fan of the Suzuka circuit. This place is mad. My old man always used to come out and watch testing around this area. He used to steal one of these media tops I'm wearing and get out and watch on track, because in the background you can see turn 1, turn 2, and you've got the little chicane turn 3 and 4 into 5 and 6 where we're stood. And it's just a phenomenal place to watch a Formula One car. And in the dry, they're carrying so much speed through here. And in between corners, they're off throttle. As soon as they get that front in, they're back on the throttle, pretty much 100%. But in the wet, They're really, really tiptoeing through here, especially the guys that are on the wet tyres. Obviously, you've got the big chunks that are on a wet tyre. They're moving around so much that the car feels quite lazy. The guys that are on the inters, though, you can see them carrying way much more speed through here because there aren't any rivers running across the track. Obviously, through Dunlop there are, but there you go. There's George through there, looking good on the inter. The Mercedes, I must say, through this section looks really good. A little bit of understeer in the car. McLaren's, they have the understeer, then it snaps a little bit on the exit, they change direction. But yeah, wonderful seeing the cars through here, but there really isn't a lot of grip right now. And this is a circuit that should produce a lot of heat in the tyres, so the tyres should be working. They obviously are. It's just low grip, very cold temperatures. Lewis flying through there, carrying a lot of momentum through 6, and then it obviously heads up into Dunlop, which is in the dry, easy flat, in the wet, a little bit more on edge, especially when you've got those rivers running across. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jensen Button. Always nice to hear from you. Trackside as well. Martin Brundle not with us this weekend. He'll be back with us at the Circuit of the Americas in 2 weeks' time as well. But for the moment, and that's, Tsunoda making a mistake and just backing off now, coming through Degno. Oh, and Josh has joined us. Morning, Josh. You all right?
Yawn.
Better late than never. Hopefully you're all right. Talk us through it, Synth. What happened?
Yeah, through Degner, is going to have an oversteer. Oh, it locked up on front right to a pretty fast corner. Not easy to lock up. You've seen some crashes in the past when you go off here, but maybe in the wets because you take a little bit less speed through here, he was able to get out of it. But close moment for Tsunoda.
He's gone right through both gravel there as well, which is an annoyance. Let's take a listen. Just backend's going to step out on him, and bang. Yeah, Tsunoda off track and continued at turn 9 as well, which is the info we've just received, as you can see up here in the comms box. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 11. So someone's off.
Leclerc.
Yeah, it's Charles Leclerc. Has Leclerc, and he's in the barrier. And can he find reverse? Yes, he can. The gravel trap is not that deep here for Leclerc. Just don't go wide. I don't think he's knocked off the front wing either. Come on, Leclerc. Find first gear, find low range, and he's got it out. Well done. The gravel trap's not that deep. Leclerc lives to fight another day, but that's a little bit of a moment that I don't think anybody wanted to know about.
It's all kicking off now. Josh has joined.
yeah, all kicking off. Usually it's you, Synth. Morning, Josh. Exciting start to the session as well. Rain all the way around, and I can see from the back of your commentary box that sun is shining already. I left the box when it's still dark. Nice to see the sun has risen.
Yeah, it's quite cloudy here, but yeah, the sun's out. It's very grey, and definitely didn't oversleep, but not as bad as.
He's in a strength shape. I don't know, I think he's quite a bit damaged. Not from the lockup, and before that, just going out the garage.
He hasn't damaged the wing.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
Good, he hasn't damaged the wing. Go on, Synth. Josh.
Not as bad as missing the whole of Australian practice too.
Yeah,
but
that.
Yes.
And qualifying.
And qualifying.
Yeah, no worries. Synth had you perfectly covered anyway. But Synth, that was just a weird lock up there on the outside of the track. It's too greasy, isn't it, for these conditions? They're just slipping off.
It's easy to do. It's such a slow corner. You come through that towards that corner with pretty high speed, so you have to really try and slow that car down. We saw Latifi as well going off there, and luckily he didn't hit the wall, but maybe some damage to the floor and definitely a lot of gravel inside and around the car for the Ferrari now for Charles Leclerc, as we see Max Verstappen now on the enters as well, going for a lap.
50 minutes to go, and Hamilton still on 1:44.298. Russell second, Tsunoda third, Vettel fourth, Latifi fifth, Norris is sixth on the board. Seventh for seventh Norris, eighth for Stroll, ninth Gasly. Albon rounds out the top 10. As Latifi now goes seventh because Albon's gone to sixth. Perez has taken third. The time starting to come down quite quickly now as well, with the advent of better track conditions as well, and the track is completely chock-a-block. Alonso and Schumacher, the only two cars now out there, so the man who topped free practice 1 not out there on the circuit, and Schumacher not taking part in this session due to needing a complete new chassis. But this is getting quick as Verstappen looked a bit messy through Casio Triangle. Down out the last corner, Verstappen will take the 1:43.571 and go top. Hamilton, though, guys, absolutely flying out there.
Yeah, he's definitely going quicker as well through the first sector. Let's see what he can do compared to Verstappen through the middle part of this lap.
Looking good as he punches up towards the 130R. And Leclerc goes 10th, 1:46.516, and Hamilton is up by 6 hundredths of a second. So this is quite good then from Lewis as he flies through on the Inters. It looks almost like the Inters aren't getting enough water through them through certain parts. It's looking too dry. Anyway, Ted's got news.
He didn't really need to
on Alonso.
To go out earlier. They didn't have anything to learn. He was happy with the setup of his Alpine, but now his team are keen, like his teammate Esteban Ocon, to get out on track and to learn a little bit more about what they want to learn on a potentially drying track. But yeah, Crofty, give me a minute. I'll try and think of it as James Vowles, who's essentially subbing in for Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team boss. So James Vowles, the director of motorsport strategy, with Mike Elliott, the technical director, on the left-hand side as we look at it. And James Vowles is literally in Toto Wolff, the Mercedes boss's seat.
He's taken his seat. He's not really taken over as team principal.
Well, then why is he taking his seat? I think it's absolutely...
Someone's got to keep it warm.
I think that's fascinating that in Toto's absence, it seems like James Vowles is in his chair. Literally, if maybe not actually.
Ted, if I had to race off, you'd be straight into my seat, trust me. Or that standing around in the pit lane, you'd be up to a warm commentary box straight away.
I wouldn't trust myself to do your job properly. No way.
Thanks ever so much, Ted. Right.
I do wonder who is the backup commentator, to be fair. Is that fly from last night is still hanging around up here in the comms box. It's really annoying me as well as they come back through. Russell set the fastest first sector time as well, guys, so it's all looking quite quick up there, isn't it?
Yeah, but also with Alonso, I remember in Canada, when it was raining as well in practice, he was the one who was out the most to find the limits of the track, and because of that, I think as well, he managed to qualify second as well.
Sainz goes third, 1:43.691. Yeah, it was actually the mixed conditions we had there. It was Alonso who finished on the, I think it was front row of the grid, if I remember correctly, because I remember Megan jumping up and down. Russell goes top.
Second place.
1:42.968 from Russell. Okay, so he's a tenth quicker than Verstappen. So the times are coming down. It's just taking a while. That's a lot better.
I think the track is improving by every lap.
Yeah, I was worried, though, that we're going to have a washout. Looks like that's not going to be the case. They want to get more running. Maybe towards the end of the session, we won't see many cars out there, but this is race time Sunday. They want to get out there and see what the track's like. As Verstappen, at the exit of Degner 2, gets a line, gets some tyres on the white lines and has a small drift. Not too big of a deal, though, since I thought there would be a bigger moment there. It's just literally stepped it wide and he's on the radio.
Let's here we go. A little bit mid-corner.
Okay, so he's understeering. He's complaining over the radio, but that's just normal in these conditions, isn't it? There shouldn't be something to moan about.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot already in that corner, so it's not really something that is too big of an issue, and I think it's losing you that much time as well. So yeah, not too big of an issue.
That's radio there. Josh, could the pace of Mercedes be believed? I mean, it could be a wet race, but they're 1-3 at the moment. Russell looking quick. Qualifying in the dry, can their pace here be believed going into Sunday?
Some would say no, some would say yes, but I say 75 yes, 25 no.
Oh, good. That's a good line in the sand margin now. I'm enjoying that one as Ocon circulates around the first couple of corners as well. There's a lot of traffic building up there at the moment. A lot of spray being kicked up as well. A lot of spray actually through the first half of the sectors as well. That's more than I thought as well. 45 minutes to go as well. We are halfway through practice 2 for the Japanese Grand Prix here in mixed conditions. And I'm sitting down in the comms box because I'd fall down if I didn't sit down, to be fair. As they come through, Perez taking a lot of oversteer, coming out of Degner 2. And fighting for control as he goes uphill towards the hairpin. Nice wide entrance from Checo. Gets nice on the power as well. I think Sergio's having quite a good couple of weekends at the moment, isn't he? I mean, he was quite quick in Monza. He was one in Singapore. Now here in Japan as well. He's sort of got eyes completely focused, hasn't he? Since on securing second place in the championship. Good morning to the little owl who says hi, everyone.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of interviews and comments from Checo that he's so confident. He's also said like he's gonna go for a championship next year. He's confident. He has the ability to beat his teammate Verstappen next year. Because when after Singapore, he's really confident, and that's exactly what you need, of course, in a Formula 1 car.
Josh, could he go for a championship? Oh, can you hear me, Josh? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Could he go for a championship?
Maybe, maybe not.
I don't know, you know. I'm sort of... Oh, hang on a minute. What's happened here? I'm showing the pit wall. That's not good. Oh, the laptop is starting to have some paddies. Let's get over to the battle screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted's going to save me.
On comes the Prix sprint race trolleys.
Oh, the internet's gone down.
Ah,
I see.
To each
Ted.
driver, no one knows what they are, and it's all up to the drivers then to manage them as they see fit.
That's a good idea. I believe that teams and drivers are not very happy, but
who cares?
Of course, don't know.
But would that make better racing?
You know, he also made a proposal to have just black tires or just the logo, but not different colors. And no, because then I don't know what the competitor is fitting, and we want to know. So every time there is somebody that is against. But yes, also the proposal for next year to use the hard compound in Q1, the medium compound in Q2, and the soft compound in Q3. That's my favorite proposal because you reduce the number of... we were talking about sustainability, recycling the tire. Also reducing the tire is an element that we should consider. And at the moment, with the current regulation, you have to save a lot of set of soft tire for qualifying that you don't use for the race. So if you impose to have 2 sets of hard compound for Q1, 2 sets of medium for Q2, 2 sets of in 1 year, without affecting the show.
But then you'll get, and I know what the comeback is, the midfield teams will say, well, we've not got enough downforce to turn the hard tyre on, so we're not going to progress into Q2 as easy and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but they have 5 sets of tyre for free practice.
I agree.
They can, but yeah, you're right, they were complaining about that.
So has that been proposed? Will it be accepted?
Yes, we will have 2 races next year with this new system as a test, and then if it works, it can be for the future.
See, but I like that as well. We've gone through the sprint race tests for the last couple of years to see what works and what doesn't, and let's try other areas where it's not just written into the regulations so that everyone knows well in advance. Why not have a couple of test cases during the race? Do you know what those races will be yet?
No idea.
Do you have a say?
No, I don't know.
No, but do you have an input into that?
No, we don't have any input. It's something that is decided by Formula 1 and the FIA.
Good idea.
It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, agreed.
You are welcome in this box anytime you wish.
Very happy.
Mario's just leaving the commentary box now, as well as I think I know what's happening with my computer because it keeps wanting to shut down and restart itself. So I think something is trying to pop up as well, and knowing my luck, it'll be something EVG or something. But I do deeply apologise for the technical trouble. It's early in the morning here, which means people are switching on their internets, and it's taking everything down. But hopefully, guys, you can still hear me and still talk as well. What do you reckon then next year? Looks like we're going to have at least 2 races next year. Some people will be running development tyres. Is that good or bad? I think I wouldn't want that in a race. Not allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in a race. No, I don't think in a race they should do that, to be honest. Maybe, yeah, of course, now they use extra time in practice. I think that's enough, right, for the development.
I agree. But yeah, practice is enough. don't put him in the race, because otherwise he just has too much
Oh,
problems
yellow.
for Verstappen.
There's a yellow in front.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, front tires are getting way too hot through the line.
You could be onto something here, Paul.
There's something
Oh,
going
what's
on.
the blue flag?
Okay, all good, all good. As we heard from Verstappen there on the radio, I was looking around thinking, what are you on about? What you've seen that we're not up here in the box?
Yeah,
But, go on.
You saw that yellow flag flashing. I thought it was yellow. But
I
maybe,
did.
maybe
I
it's
did.
blue.
Yeah, I did see that flash up on the signal box as well. But looks like everything's okay now at the moment, as Russell's still top. I think what's happened is the T feed has reset, and it's frozen on my end and up here in the commentary box. So I'll just get that sorted. There we go.
Track is just improving more and more though.
Track is getting more and more downforce.
Not drying up, but much less water.
Much less water we're hearing as well. Oh, there goes OBS having a moment now as well. As we're stuck up here at the moment. We're stuck on the battle screen basically at the moment until the system calms down, because the T feed wasn't set correctly, so it's having a paddy. We're stuck on this until it calms down. But you can still see the driver truck and hear us. Perez is going around Spoon Curve now as well. He's had a good first sector, 36.884. And is closing in and having a better run, Josh, as well, as he comes up the hill. Perez, could he win this weekend, or is he going to... Oh, actually, Jenson Button's going to save us. He's down at the Casino Triangle.
I think Sergio Perez will be with you soon.
Good, yeah, I'm in a fantastic place right now, because to your left is Dunlop, and then to your right is the last chicane, and it's really interesting watching F1 cars around the last chicane and the hairpin around this track, because they look clumsy, especially in these wet conditions. There's such slow corners, and you set the car up for the medium and the high speed here at Suzuka. It'll be running unbelievably stiff. One, because it's that sort of circuit with a change direction, you want a stiff car, but also it's very difficult for them to get the power down because the car is bouncing so much. And a lot of wheel spin on the exit as well, and a big oversteer. Here comes Verstappen. I think he's on a no, he's on a lap. Just doesn't look so quick. A lot of wheel spin on the exit there, up through the gears. But yeah, you can see the tires are overheating, I think, that around this section of the lap. Sainz nice and smooth, but again, car's just not working well over the curbs there. And Sebastian coming into the pits, but yeah, it's really interesting seeing the difference. You know, I think the Mercedes has always been good in low-speed corners. The mechanical grip of the car is really nice. So I think they're able to get the benefit of the low speed and not overheat the tyres in the high speed. So I think that's why we're seeing the pace so strong for them there. Let's see who comes through next. It's the...
Russell's got radio.
It doesn't look like it's raining at the moment. If it is, it's very, very light. Yeah, we think there will be a bit of a dry window and then it should get worse. That's what we think at the moment.
So Russell's radio saying it's dry and could get worse. We just heard from Jenson Button trackside. You didn't miss much, but we've had to completely restart OBS, which is why we were away for a minute or two as well due to the problem as well. But back to us, myself, Joshua Birch and Josh Pays and Synthel are alongside me up in the commentary box. And guys, we're in now for what is going to be an interesting end to this session. 35 minutes to go. We're sort of getting... It's raining trackside again, Synth. So we're just sort of trying to run to the conditions and hopefully have a better exit time.
Yeah, it's going to rain heavily. And again, I think it should be fine for Inter towards the end.
Yeah, it should be okay, Josh, for Inters. Do you reckon we'll get much more running as Perez and Alonso, the only two cars out on the track?
We might get more running as we see Alonso replay. We might get more running, we might not get more running if some Bottas is currently
he's come out
of the pit lane on the intermediate tyres. So we could see some more running, and I think we will see some more running towards the end of the session.
Continues on then for the second practice session here for the Japanese Grand Prix as well. We are coming up to an hour completed in this second practice session, a 90-minute run. As we heard as well, Mario Isola were up in the sky from commentary box for a long time actually as well, and having a conversation. We tuned in and out a little bit to that earlier on in the broadcast. Fernando Alonso then in his last 5 races. In Hungary he was 8th, Belgium 5th, Netherlands 6th and a double DNF in Italy and Singapore as well. And Megan was not happy with the DNF in Singapore as well. Not that we all were, because he was on for some good points, was Fernando Alonso. And yeah, she's hoping as well that it was a good one. I don't think Megan actually knows that he topped first practice and might top practice too, because this is looking to be the best of the conditions. He's out there on his own with a brand new set of intermediate tyres. Perez is too far ahead of him, and away goes Fernando Alonso down to turn 1. Do you think he could do it, Synth?
Could be. He's really quick in the rain. We've started in Canada, of course. Let's see. But obviously tomorrow will be dry, but he'll have to do it on Sunday.
Sunday's going to count. There's a lot of spray in this middle half of the track coming to the S's as well. You rise uphill. Yeah, turn 1, it's all downhill section as well. And then you're rising uphill now to the top at the Dunlop curve. This is where Schumacher crashed this morning, just at the exit there, into Degner 1 and Degner 2. Alonso keeps it in. He's 6/10 down on the time by Russell, a 1:41.935 as Russell's fastest time. As he comes into the hairpin now, down to second gear, about 60 kilometres an hour is his slowest. Good at the exit, rises up the speed synth, and he's still trying to attack the lap times.
Yeah, and towards Spoon now, he's losing quite a lot on Russell so far. Let's see what he can do. He's really quick. What's he now at the moment? P7. Ocon as well in P6. So
wow,
this should be sort of making up for Singapore with that double DNF for Alpine.
Yeah, Josh, they need a double points finish, don't they, to try and get themselves back in the fight with McLaren for the constructors, because McLaren overtook them last time out with their 4th and 5th positions.
Yeah, they really do, as Alonso comes into the final chicane and will cross the line momentarily. And good news for Ginetta fans. All 6 races at Brands will be live.
Oh, wow.
As Alonso goes 6th, a 1 minute 43.533.
So that's...
Saturday's races will be online at itv.com/BTCC, while Sunday's action will be on ITV4.
Yeah, and I'll be commentating on the British Touring Car qualifying tomorrow as well, and we'll see highlights of that in the race build-up on Sunday as Sky go off. Yeah, so we'll be seeing race build-up to that as well on Sunday with the British Touring Cars season finale. And Synthel, you joined us last time out, didn't you? You didn't join the commentary box, but you watched the Silverstone round last time.
A little bit more rainier now.
As we say, it's a little bit more rainier now. What did you make of the British Touring Cars then? Because I know you were really impressed with the crash bang wallop nature of it.
It was an incredible race. I will be joining you for this weekend as well.
Fantastic, can't wait. And it'll be the championship finale as well, so all your mathematicians are out quite quickly. Yeah. Who do you think is going to be the champion there, Josh? Because I've got no clue. It's too close to call. I think Turkington's out of it, though, with his shocking performance at Silverstone.
Yeah. I also say it's too close to call.
I think Ingram might do it. Ingram deserves it. He's never done it before.
Yeah.
Tom Ingram, Tingram to his friends and family as well, could just take it. But right now, another ad break on Sky F1 with 29:23 to go. And actually, looking at it, that means that my pit lane channel is only about 30 seconds back. It's actually the quickest it's been all season long at the moment, as Kevin Magnussen's having work done now on his car as well. Charles Leclerc getting ready for out there on the track. He's 10th at the moment. Bottas also circulating. He's 7th. And Lance Stroll just watching on now with a eager-eyed gaze as well as he exits as he stood in the pit lane. And Leclerc, just on my screen at least, fighting through the S's, but he's just come through the hairpin quite okay as he heads down towards Spoon Curve. Anything you've spotted since on your screens?
Well, I haven't got the TV pictures now, so...
Ah, right.
Let's see if I can get them. I love how they go full throttle through 130R.
I was just thinking that as well. Completely full throttle, not even lifting as well. I wonder what those two little dots are at the 130 on the driver tracker. I don't know if anyone can see them as well. There's just two little dots there through the exit there. I've got no clue what they are. It could, I don't know if it's speed trap, but it's certainly not
Speed trap.
Speed.
Yeah, speed trap and DRS detection.
Ah, of course, it's the only, okay, so speed trap and detection zone. Because like I said, the sector times don't have a gap between them either on the circuit, so I was wondering what those two little dots were. See, always handy to have codes as well. Not that my commentary team's going to change dramatically this weekend at all, with no Josh and no Synthel for the race, and Megan and Ian Burge joining me here for the race itself. What have you noticed, Synth?
I've got the pictures now, and Perez locks up and goes straight through the gravel in turn 11, just like how Leclerc did it on the TV.
We've got those same pictures now. Locks up, straight on through the gravel. You don't know what to say, do you, half the times with Perez? Sometimes he does really well, sometimes it's those little mistakes as well, but that can happen to anybody in that part of the track, so I don't think he deserves any slate there. There's two trickier conditions out there as well.
Getting a little busier on track now for the final 30 minutes of this practice session.
More rain coming, Synth. Alonso. Oh, here's Leclerc.
Feeling he's still really bad for some reason. I'll try to make it better.
Copy.
So it's getting worse out there, is the basics for the weather conditions as well, if you're looking for an update. And this, Synth, was Perez again locking up and going straight on. What did you both make of it? Start with you, Synth.
Okay.
Yeah, just a very simple thing to do. You take so much speed towards that corner.
Car is pushing a lot, like almost like this.
So some radio there coming through. Josh, simple off?
Simple off. It looked like the tiniest lock up from that front looking camera from the top of the roll hoop. But Antonio Giovinazzi on the Ferrari pit wall, I wouldn't go there, Antonio. That's where the clowns sit.
I was going to say, he's supposed to be at Haas for another run. I think actually was in practice. He should have been in practice 1, but he never went out. So I wonder if he'll do practice 1 at Cota or Mexico instead, one of the two. As well. But it is the second practice session. We've got 25 minutes to go of this one as well. And a lot of anticipation as well. Let's go down to Otmar Safnauer on the pit
But
wall.
it's not been a bad day at all for the team from the outside.
Yeah, we had a good first session, Crofty, and yeah, it's going well so far now.
What are the drivers saying about these conditions and your advanced weather forecast? Does that suggest we might get something similar on Sunday?
It's definitely not similar tomorrow, so yeah, we're going to get the learning done just in case it's like this on Sunday.
So what are you learning now then, Otmar? Why are you sort of going round and round? What are you learning from the conditions?
Well, you know, we gotta get a good balance, and we gotta make sure the tires are working. You know, make sure that all the blanking is correct, and yeah, you learn by going round and round. Like the great Yogi Berra once said, you can observe a lot by just watching.
You're the only man that's ever quoted Yogi Bear from a pit wall. That is a first for this coverage. We haven't seen you since Singapore. It was a disappointing night, obviously, for the team. But what are the knock-on effects? Fernando Alonso hinting yesterday he's got a new power unit he's going to have to take and get more penalties before the end of the season.
Yeah, that could happen, but let's see how we go. We're not going to do that prematurely. See how we go. It won't be here, so it might be in the future, but we just have to, we've got to score some points here and get back to 4th place where we belong.
Otmar, it's Paul. Are those the same issues you had earlier in the year that you had in Singapore still continuing on?
No, that's a good question, Paul. They're new. We thought at the beginning the issues that we saw in Singapore were similar because we had them on both cars, but as it turned out, they weren't similar, and they're not similar to what we had before.
Can you give us an indication of what those issues were?
Well, it was a little bit of circumstance in the fact that we started in the wet and the gear that we started in and the loads that the power unit saw at the very start was something unique and something we hadn't seen before, and it caused problems.
Oscar Piastri, Otmar, is still with you. Have you reached an agreement with McLaren as to when he can start working with them before the end of this season, or are you going to keep him until December the 31st?
Well, we're in dialogue with McLaren now, and we haven't quite reached that conclusion.
What would your preference be?
Well, my preference is that we do what we're legally obliged to do, and that's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, I won't press you anymore on that, but will we see in the next couple of weeks an announcement, a resolution on that one?
Yeah, it's not far off.
Excellent. And just finally, any ribbing from the team towards you as we come back to Suzuka? Last time the Enstone team came to Suzuka, they had 2 cars disqualified, and I believe that might have been your fault.
No, actually, it wasn't my fault. We just noticed that they were doing something that was outside the rules, and I've been with the team for 8 months now. There's nothing that we're doing that's outside the rules, so that's okay.
I wouldn't suggest there was something outside the rules. I just thought I'd heard that there was a bit of ribbing, that you might have been the mastermind behind pointing out they were breaking the rules.
No, it just it's something we noticed, and that's all. It's all past us.
Excellent. Otmar, thanks. We'll talk to you tomorrow from the pit wall if we can. Otmar with us.
Thank you very much to Sky Sports F1, and to be fair, trust Crofty to try and drum up controversy where there is none. I mean, there are some times where you just don't say that in a commentary, and that is one of them as well. Anyway, 21 minutes to go. Nearing the end of the session. We haven't done one of these in a long time, have we? A 90-minute one. And we've done 4 hours of testing, but this seems longer. It also seems a bit harder to do, doesn't it, these type of sessions?
Yeah, it does really. It feels like the session should have been finished by now.
Yeah.
But that's usually true, of course. But there's still 20 minutes to go.
Should have finished 9 minutes ago, the checker flag, but it comes out now at 1/2 the hour. So this is the extra 30 minutes of track time they've been given by Pirelli, which could become a permanent factor next year. Currently unsure about.
Do nothing.
Say again?
Pirelli have given them an extra half an hour because the tyre test had been cancelled, to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, tyre tests will now take place at the second event, which was always going to happen as well at the United States Grand Prix. That was always a thing, but there will now be an extra session provisionally done at Mexico City as well to do some tyre testing. So that's something to look out for in the future. Some radio. So Tsunoda, the first Japanese driver to race in the Japanese Grand Prix since Kamui Kobayashi in 2014. And I never did finish my point this morning in practice one about that weekend. It was a great weekend, and then it was a terrible weekend. It all switched literally in one corner as well, because in terms of a great weekend beforehand, Vettel announced he was leaving Red Bull and joining Ferrari. Alonso was joining McLaren and all that lot as well. It was all shifting around about everywhere. We had a great start to the Grand Prix. The rain was abated. It was intermediate running. Hamilton and Rosberg were having a great duel with each other for the championship, and then the rain got heavier, and all of a sudden the weekend took the darkest turn this sport has seen in over 20 years, when it started with Adrian Sutil going off at the top of the Craner curves and hitting the wall at Dunlop as well, and then it was just literally the yellow flags came out, and then Jules Bianchi aquaplaned off the track and hit the recovery vehicle as well, and then the safety car was deployed. The race got stopped, and then we learned pretty quickly it was a serious matter, and then unfortunately, of course, later on in hospital a few months later as well, Jules Bianchi tragically passed away, and it was the anniversary of his accident a couple of days ago as well, and there was a wonderful thing as well put on with tributes to him as well, and also how many lives the Halo have saved since, as well as the push for the drivers saying that, no, this is enough, it shouldn't happen, drivers shouldn't be getting killed or having accidents as well. So the Halo came in as well, and nobody questions the Halo anymore. It's a great addition to Formula One cars. It's a great addition to motorsport, and yeah, it's tragic it had to come with the death of a beloved driver as well. And it's always in the back of the mind when we visit here at Suzuka. It's also the same at Spa as well with Antoine Hubert. It's also the same at Monaco, where we saw Jules do that amazing race in the Russia in 2014, finishing 8th on the road, but finishing 9th overall and getting crucial World Championship points as well. Schumacher as well, Magnussen now making his 97th start for Haas this weekend, just having work done to the brakes. I mean, it is weird. When I look at this circuit as well, you see so much history, but you also see so much pain, don't you, as well, Simpson and Josh? It's a weird circuit, this one.
Yeah, it's an iconic one. It's so much happened, so much drama, of course, that horrible incident. But then we can also look back at like 1988 with Senna and Prost. So they've collided twice, you know, for a championship. There's also been some incredible moments here, and yeah, it shouldn't be made a horrible circuit now because of that incident.
Yeah, 76. Oh, Science Radio.
Team Radio.
Team Radio.
Yeah, they're good age. Flip that rear now.
I'm going to be...
Keller Science talking
okay, back
tyres.
to Ted
James Tobin,
first,
thank
and
you for the
continue.
advice on what is a bay and what is the sea, and the fact that they are exactly the same thing. Go back to our FP1 chat. It was enlightening. Balloons and bays.
Ted?
We've had it all today, Paul de Resta. Balloons, bays, tyres, poetry with Ted. Here's a lap with Sebastian.
I'm surprised there's no haiku as well. I need some of that Kimi Raikkonen haiku he did. I'm going to Google it as well, that he did a couple of years ago. That book back in 2019 he released as well, the Kimi Raikkonen haiku as well. But yeah, some great championship deciders here. 76, Hunt v Lauda was at Fuji, first ever Japanese Grand Prix. 86, Mansell and PK. Mansell crashing out, damaging his shoulder. Sorry, 87 that was, Japan. Mansell crashing out and damaging his shoulder and his back, and PK being crowned champion. 88, Senna and Prost together at the pit wall as well, and Senna being crowned champion. 89, Prost turning in against Senna at the Casio Triangle. Prost crowned champion. 1990, the year later, the revenge of Ayrton Senna, saying he wanted to start on the right-hand side of the track. The FIA didn't let him, had to start on the opposite side as well. And Senna arguably ran him off the track at turn 1. Senna crowned champion as well. 1991, championship was decided here for Senna as well. All 3 championships won in Japan. Then, of course, what was the next one? We didn't see a championship decided here at Suzuka until 1996, when Damon Hill took the title against Jacques Villeneuve. Villeneuve's rear left tyre falling off. Murray Walker, of course, screaming, "I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat," and Damon Hill, the world champion. 97, just a year later, of course, it was all sort of drama here with Ferrari getting excluded with Villeneuve, but then it was 98 and 99, Schumacher versus Hakkinen in 98, and then 99 was Irvine versus Hakkinen. 98, Schumacher having a rear left tyre failure as well, retiring from the race after stalling on the grid as well, so it was always Hakkinen's title. 99, Hakkinen taking the race win after Irvine hit problems. 2000, championship was decided here as well, with Schumacher beating Hakkinen across the line with a race to go in the season. Ferrari's first title in over 14 years, and Schumacher's 3rd World Championship title. Next title decided here, 2003, between Raikkonen, Montoya and Schumacher. Schumacher winning, becoming the first ever 6-time world champion. Next title decided here, took a while though, because it didn't happen as well for a number of years. The title was next decided at the Japanese Grand Prix in 2011 as well, when Vettel crossed the line in third position and took the title for the third time. And now, once again, we could be seeing a championship decided here as well between Max Verstappen. All he has to do is win the race and he's champion no matter what. And he's sliding, actually, since just coming out of the second part of Degner. I don't know if you're seeing that on your screen just yet. Oh, he's not there. Josh, did you see it?
No, I didn't see it actually.
Oh, I was muted. Hello.
Oh, hello. Did you see it, Synth?
Yeah, I did see it. It was just a bit of a slide, but we've seen it a lot by everyone, so not sure why they keep showing us replays of just Verstappen doing this. But yeah, just a bit of a drift to the exit of Degner too.
Go on then, guys. Start with you, Josh. What's your favourite Japanese Grand Prix moment as well? Can you think of one over the years?
Probably 96.
Good call. Synth, what about
or
you? Oh, go on.
88 with the Senna and Frost classes.
That was 89, 90 as well. 88 was the one where they were in the pit wall.
Those couple of years.
Those, just 3 golden years of racing in Japan. Both Honda engines on that McLaren as well, actually. So even they were delighted about it. Synth, what's your memories of Japan and Suzuka?
Yeah, I don't know what happened in full race, of course, from those older years. I haven't seen too many of them, but I do know just some moments, some important moments. I do know as well that I think 2005 was an incredible race as well. It was,
yeah. Raikkonen ran the outside of Fischer-Keller at the last lap. Start of the race, Montoya crashing into the last corner as well. Drama, right, because of a wet qualifying as well. Everybody was out of position, so Alonso, Fischer-Keller, Raikkonen, Schumacher, all of that were right at the back of the field, and pole position that day went to Ralf Schumacher in the Toyota as well. So it was quite a weird day.
The wrong Schumacher there.
Yeah, Ralph started on pole position in the Toyota, and Michael Schumacher started further back on the grid in the Ferrari, but the Ferrari, of course, wasn't that competitive in 2005, only winning 1 Grand Prix that year, and that was the 2005 United States Grand Prix, which those of you with really good Formula 1 knowledge will know that as the 6-car race with all the Michelin runners backed out, and only the Bridgestone runners took part. The 2 Ferraris of Schumacher and Barrichello, the 2 Minardis of Freysacker and Baumgartner, and the 2 Jordans as well of Montero and Karthikeyan as well. Diego Montero finished on the podium that day as well for his one and only F1 podium as well. As 10 minutes to go, and the track's still a bit damp out there, but it's not as bad as we feared it might get. My favourite moment of Japan, I'm going to say as well, that's not Sebastian Vettel, I just want to say.
Stabilised. Front in the window, rear a little bit hot.
Yeah, that's a full-on helmet of Vettel with fireproof overalls and everything, as Danny Ricciardo is talking to Lawrence Beretta at the moment in the paddock for F1 TV, so that's a quick interview done. My favourite, I've got 2 Grand Prix. The 2007 Japanese Grand Prix at Fuji, all-time favourite Grand Prix, I think, because it was just absolutely chaotic and a great, great race. And the favourite race at Suzuka, for me, I would say would probably... I'm trying to think of a good one in recent time where it's really been quite chaotic. I would say my favourite Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka would be either 1994 or, in my lifetime, 2003. I think 2003 was a great Grand Prix as well. It just had everything in it as well. 2005 was great as well. So many great memories to pick as well. And also, do stick around. Me and Megan are going to be having some Japanese food, I think, throughout the weekend as well. So it's all going to be all good. Sushi, probably not. I'm not sure if that's wise with Megan's stomach not being 100% at the moment. Although we had curry last night, so I enjoyed that. It was a lovely curry as well. It was a chicken korma, but it was a spicy korma. It was gorgeous. I like a bit of spice as well, but usually when there's a family homemade curry.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, usually when there's a family homemade curry, because not everyone likes spice, it's usually quite mild, and I'm like, oh. But I enjoy just a little bit of spice. And this korma, oh, it was delicious. It was a spicy korma. It was brilliant. Megan apparently loved it. I was a bit worried that she wouldn't, but it was great. I had it with some, we didn't have any garlic bread, so I had some bread and butter as well. It was a lovely curry, and yeah, I'm ready for that.
I think the rotation
When-
wasn't worse, especially left corner, lap by lap.
Go on, Josh.
When Josh starts talking about food, you don't stop.
No, it's breakfast time as well, so I think I'll have a peach and passion fruit yogurt as well, with a cereal bar and a nice cool drink as well, probably a fruit
Megan,
juice.
I hope you're listening to this right and this down, because it's very, very important.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
Breakfast order for that she can just sort of throw it to me when I walk back in the door. To be fair, Megan at college as well, she gets these. She always buys me sweets as well, which is so lovely of her. Sometimes it's coffee as well, but also paprika crisps. You might have seen us eating in the commentary box several times. I can see 3 tubs of those already around this commentary box as we ride with Pierre Gasly. I'll tell you what, Synth. Random topic, as we're running out of time. Not many cars out on the track yet. Let's just say favourite food. Go on, Synth. You start.
My favourite food is definitely sushi.
Oh, right. That's on topic, on brand as well. Josh, what about you?
I can't choose one, but I'm just going to say it. For all of the pineapple on pizza haters, pineapple pizza.
Oh, dear. Actually,
No.
that's slightly like the Italians are now going to be gunning for you, but yeah, I don't know. I've often wanted to make my own pizza, actually. I've never tried, as Gasly goes a little bit wide at spoon curve. Mine's actually quite strange.
I think I am today with
Are you?
my home tutor making pizza.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, you've got to tweet that. It's going to be good. Mine's actually weird, and there's a reason for this. It's chicken soup. And the reason for it is because it's a homemade chicken soup, and it is fantastic. It was my Nana's recipe that my mum's got now as well, and she's perfected it as well herself, just like how Nana used to make it as well. So both absolutely wonderful as well, and it means a lot to me as well, emotionally as well, because it was always great when Nana made chicken soup. Oh my word, you knew you were in for a good treat as well. But Mum has perfected the recipe, but now she's got the secret ingredient off Nana before she passed away. But always good for chicken soup, because what you do is you have a full chicken the day before, and then in the morning you boil the carcass for all the water, then you put in all the lentils and the oxo cubes for the chicken stock and all that lot, and then you put your veg in, then you put a tin of chicken soup in, but condensed so it just mixes in, and then you put your chicken in, and you've got a fantastic chicken soup. So you grill the carcass, and not many people do that, I know, when making chicken soup.
Vegan teacher is coming for you now, Joss. Now
I'll tell you what, that vegan teacher can come for me, and I'm going to say I'm sorry, but nothing's changing my mind about what is the best tasting chicken soup I've ever had in my life. Although, to appease the vegan teacher, my uncle, who's my mum's brother, can't actually have lentils and doesn't have the chicken in it because they don't eat chicken. So to make the soup, his wife, my auntie Alison as well, she, instead of cooking the soup, she uses mashed potato instead of lentils as well, and uses just a chicken cube, which is vegan, to make the soup. And it's actually quite nice. It's quite a nice taste, actually, as well. But she put peas in it as well. I don't put peas in it. But that's a nice little taste of it. But nothing can beat a lovely chicken soup. And we had that, actually, a few days ago as well. And there's always quite a lot of bowls of it as well. So it always suits dinner and then
the classic
tea.
tomato and basil for me.
I had that actually last week at a restaurant as well. So I had soup of the day because I arrived late after quite a practice session. So I went and had
Questionable.
that.
How much soup do you have, Joss?
It's horrible.
Gasly's heckled me. I don't believe that. That's brilliant timing there. It's horrible. Gasly's not enjoying the conditions and doesn't like soup, obviously. Okay, in the past couple of weeks, I may have had quite a few bowls of soup. But last week, I had tomato and basil homemade soup at a restaurant because I was late and couldn't be bothered to order anything that would take over an hour.
I'm going to clip that right now.
And I had 2 bowls this week, and I will be having more bowls next week because I think it's chicken again on Sunday. So, waste not, want not. Anyway, since the conditions apparently, according to Gasly, saying it's horrible, but it hasn't actually rained in the past 20 minutes heavily. So I don't know what he's on about.
I'm not sure. I suppose about maybe his tires. I guess maybe I'm not sure how long he's been on those tires.
I'm checking. I can't tell. He's not even on the monitor. Where is he?
I think he's in the pits now. No,
Yeah.
No, he's not.
He's done 13 laps in this session, yeah. But whether he's on an old set of inters, I don't know. But 12 lap old inters, possible. Russell's done 20 laps as well in this practice too. Ted. Oh, sorry. I thought we were hearing from Ted. I thought we were having a dull session, but surprisingly, since as well as Josh is still clipping, I don't know if he's back yet. But
hello, I'm back.
Hello. I'm surprised, guys.
It was a very quick clip.
Oh, good. We need that. We need that highlighted and clipped over as well. Ah, brilliant. Yeah, I'm on about how many bowls of soup I've had. I've had a few, and then Gasly heckles me as well. But yeah, guys, it's been a bit of a weird session because we've actually had quite a lot of running. More running in this session, obviously, than FP1 due to the 30 minutes time difference. But I'm impressed. Okay. Just been told in my ears as well that with 2 minutes to go, the drivers are going to try and do a practice start, which means we're going to see quite a few cars heading out onto the circuit. Let's hear from Max Verstappen.
Go on,
okay, so I think you're right, Synth.
Try pressing the cool tyres button one time, Max.
That might do it. Go on, Synth.
Yeah, he's on 11 laps old inters. That's the most of, as well with Tsunoda, of everyone who's on the track right now. Yeah.
Cross the line.
Gasly now is 1 lap old, but he just pitted, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Gasly was complaining about it over the radio as well when he heckled me, so that says something as well. Nice to see the grandstands packed here at Suzuka already on a Friday. Sunday is a sellout, by the way, here in Suzuka, which is great. Yes, there's a few restrictions for COVID, but still good. That's Verstappen over the radio, and Stroll has actually gone wide since coming out of Spoon Curve.
Yeah, bit of understeer, easy to do as well. And I'm surprised we have seen such a lot of running in FP1 and FP2. And there hasn't been too many mistakes. We've had one crash, of course, from Mick Schumacher at one of the weirdest moments that could have happened, because it was at the latest possible moment on the track, even after practice starts. But yeah, furthermore, we haven't seen too many mistakes.
Yeah, the TV.
You can see I am building something up to say. I think Lance Stroll has dipped his spoon a little bit too far into the soup.
Clap, clap, clap.
It's in spoon corner as well.
I love that. I love it. I need some soup now. Although it's breakfast time. I've got to remember, this is the one problem as well with morning races. It's 8:30 a.m. as the checker flag comes out now. It's a.m. It's not lunch. It's not tea time. You usually have to practice too. You get ready for tea, and dinner as well. But it's not. It's morning. You've got to go and have breakfast now, as well. It's madness.
Why can't the race just be later? It's 2 p.m. local time. Just in Europe, it's 3 p.m. Why is it earlier then?
I've got a fly attacking me. Simply because the sunset is at 5:30, so that's 2, 3, 4 to get the lap time in, and then 5 is the cutoff for the 3-hour period. So that's why we have to sort of have this session. Hey, the checker flag man's back, who actually waves the checker flag like it's a Grand Prix. Fantastic, not just a dull wave. I always love those. But yeah, so that's the reason it's so early. As well. Oh, bloody fly.
I think there's flies trying to tell you that you've had too much soup the last couple of weeks.
It keeps getting annoying. I'll leave the door open.
They want some too.
Yes. You can go away though. I can see it. It's all hanging around my commentary box as well.
Is this a recreation of the Mr. Bean episode?
Hang on. Do you remember that new movie he's done? With a bee?
Oh. Yeah, the beam.
That's exactly what it is right now up in this commentary box, trying to get that fly out. I've got my shoe off and everything. I don't know where it's gone now. Oh well.
Not just having anyone who's just tuned in, as soon as Josh said that, Josh is currently having World War III with a fly.
I'm going to get the nukes in a minute. Anyway, Mercedes 1-2 then. Russell is fastest. I think he's had a moment actually coming out of Degner 2. Yes, he has. Big oversteer moment there as well, trying to get back on the power. But George is fastest by 0.2 of a second to Lewis Hamilton. Do we dare believe, guys, that this is something he could do? A race win on Sunday in mixed conditions like this?
I mean, qualifying is going to be dry.
Yeah.
So that's
Good
not
point.
going to help them. But the race obviously will be wet. But then they may have to start further back. I'm not sure what their pace is in the dry. I guess we'll have to find out tomorrow.
We are completely in the unknown, aren't we? We've got no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. We've got one more practice session in the dry before qualifying. So that's maybe where we can have to try and get our information for some speculations and some predictions, because for now it's impossible.
Well, you've got the rest of your day now to go and do whatever you like, because we'll be back at 3:45 a.m. British summertime for all of the action. Simply put, if you go into the YouTube channel and right below, you'll see all the upcoming live streams as well. It'll tell you what's up next. Let's take a look then at the session results from free practice 2 for the Japanese Grand Prix. George Russell ends the session fastest. Lewis Hamilton is second, and third place for Max Verstappen. Fourth is Sergio Perez. Fifth is Kevin Magnussen. Sixth is Carlos Sainz. Seventh for Fernando Alonso. Eighth, Valtteri Bottas. Ninth is Esteban Ocon, and Zhou Guanyu rounds out the top 10. Charles Leclerc is in 11th, Nicholas Latifi is 12th, Alexander Albon 13th, Yuki Tsunoda 14th, Sebastian Vettel is 15th, Lando Norris is 16th, Danny Ricciardo is 17th, Lance Stroll is 18th, Pierre Gasly 19th, and it's 20th place for Mick Schumacher as well. Not a bad session overall then, gents, as the practice starts continue down there on the grid as well, as they cut now to what is clearly an old image, considering that there's no cars on the grid as well. Just give you coverage details. As I said, tomorrow morning, this is all British summertime, remember, so you'll be able to go onto YouTube and select a Remind Me notification as well, to tell you exactly where we need to be on. 3:45 a.m. Join us for practice 3, qualifying from 6:40 as well, and then the race on Sunday live at 4:45 a.m. Pit lane opens at 5:20 a.m. British summertime. Green flag and lights out, race on from 6 a.m. in mixed conditions as well. Okay, first of all to you, Synth, what's been your moment of the session so far? Or moment of the session overall?
Rain. I don't know. It's I don't know what to say. It was an interesting session for sure, but it was quite calm actually. They didn't. Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Well, I only saw the last the last 50 minutes, but in the words of Homer Simpson, boring.
My thanks to you, Josh. My thanks to you, Synthol, for your company tonight. Let's go get some rest. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Ready and steady for practice 3, 3:45 a.m. Night to you all.